Greetings, gamers. It is I, the Game Master and Master of Games, here to bring you the campaign recap of the last two sessions. Let's begin. The year 554, the third month. During the attack, a slaver was taken prisoner. Tamer and the group plan a fake breakout so the slaver can lead them to the caravan location. Tamer and the prisoner Feces travel south across the desert to track the caravan. The rest of the party, Mayor, Arid, Saphira, Lisu, Kethis, and Kira, follow at a distance, unseen. About 8 days into the journey, they approach an oasis town, and the Carnival of Carnivores is in full swing. The Colosseum of sorts, a huge domed cage of rusted, twisted metal, surrounded by throngs of maniacal fans with a taste for blood. Men and beast fight till death or dismemberment, with the meat left behind cooked or sometimes eaten raw, prepared by vendors for the crowd. Bonfires and debauchery surround the encampment, drunken orgies fueled by drugs and rage. As planned, Feces enters the arena with Tamer in shackles and claims victory to the king of the caravan. Silence fills the crowd, and the party moves into position. Tamer lurches toward the beast cages to let them free, and Arid teleports to the crow's nest high above the arena. Mayor circles and starts fires in the tent city surrounding the camp. The rest of the group moves in with Kira covering the high ground. Tamer, Saphira, and Lisu take out the guards. It's over in minutes. The king and his blood witch attendants cut down. Tamer, filled with rage, moves towards the burning camp in a savage attempt to kill every last southerner. He's bent on vengeance. Saphira and Lisu loot the king and the witches and take a severed head of the witch and one of the guards. Mayor stops Tamer's rage, and the group retreats as fires and chaos rage in the encampment. Roughly 10 days later, the group returns to town. Lisu gets word of a business associate needing him to sign documents to break ground on his new tavern. He has to leave for a few days. Saphira, flooded with emotions, the brutality of the carnival, the fire and death, and knowing her sister had traveled to these lands as a young girl, fills her with dread and uncertainty. She asks the group to give her time, to be with herself while she meditates and consults her spirit elders. Meanwhile, Mayor and Arid debrief with the garrison commander Faldon. Mayor uses his clairaudience to discover a leader of the Church of Nunavut is in town for inspection, and was asking the garrison commander to move troops into position to eliminate the remaining forces of the south, lest they bring word of the northern attack and retaliate against the town. Mayor advises no such action, as it is bound to escalate tensions. Feldon seems under pressure and stress and dismisses the officers. Mayor reaches out to his direct report, Colonel James of the Scouts, who responds that he cannot send word due to rumors of communication intercepts, and will arrive in town personally in 3 days. Back at the officers' mess, Arid, Mayor, Tamer, and Kethis meet to perform the Speak with Dead ritual on one of the captured slavers' severed heads. They garner the following information. The Southerners encountered are outcasts with tainted blood, unlike the Northerners. They are pushed out of the southern lands and left to survive in the border deserts in an attempt to cleanse their blood. Mayor deduces the blood must have a disease or some quality and takes a sample with the intent to visit a town doctor and run tests. He asks for the location of the doctor and plans on visiting in the morning. Tamer gets word an old friend named Doog, who works at the Hunter's Lodge, wants to meet. Tamer's memories are foggy, but he agrees to cautiously meet with Doog. He learns they were friends, and Doog also has runes carved into his upper forearm, similar to the ones Tamer has. They apparently ran with a group of men with similar runes, but had a falling out with those men years ago. Doog mentions to Tamer his wife's brother, who's in charge of the estate, plans on selling the property. They also discuss Tamer always had journals and tons of books. Tamer takes note. Doog also reveals that Tamer was not kidnapped, as was the story, but he would willingly take trips south to meet a girl with the crazy eyes, most likely the blood witch that seduced and drugged him and made Tamer her pet. Doog said he covered for his friend because he worried that his wife and new family would be devastated. In the end, he felt loyalty was the right path and hid Tamer's secret from his family and the town, telling them he was kidnapped, and the story stuck. Doog also warned Tamer that a man had been asking questions, a pointy-nosed state investigator who would later be identified as Lou Nefel. Later that night, the group meets for the evening meal to discuss their findings. Sure enough, state investigator Lou Nefel enters the mess and eventually approaches the table and asks a few questions regarding the group's southern travels, as well as the attack from the caravan. He takes notes and then heads back to his table to ponder his investigation. He asks to meet the group in the morning before they leave for the day. Mayor finishes his meal and is about to set his knife down on his plate, and without warning, the very fabric of time, space, and dimension are warped. Mayor, Tamer, and Arid are plucked from the reality they know and are suddenly sitting at a cold stone floor of a basement surrounded by trunks, costumes, props, storage chests, musical instruments, odd contraptions all around them. A single staircase heads up, and there's a rumble and chanting vibrating the very stone, the sound of thousands of stomping feet. A man with sparkling blue eyes, surrounded by black, long curly hair, framing a handsome face, dressed in leather pants and a shirt open to his navel, revealing a tanned and hairy muscled chest. He stands holding what appears to be a smoldering gin lamp. He tosses the lamp aside and says, "Well, that was the last wish, and you guys are my ticket out of here. We just need to rock this crowd of orcs, I get paid, and we can leave. These gigs tend to get out of hand quick." Mayor recognizes his childhood friend and eccentric adventurer, Ben Dubin. Tamer grabs the man and demands answers. Ben tumbles back. "Hey, I didn't do anything. My band no-showed, and I had no choice but to use my very last wish to get me out of this. And here you guys showed up. So this is it. You have two choices. We're on stage in 5 minutes and rock the balls off 20,000 orcs, or they pick our meat out of their teeth for the next few days." Mayor grabs the drum kit and says, "Okay, Ben, let's rock." Arid offers to put on a light show, dazzling the crowd with his arcane bow. Tamer assigned to handle the mosh pit and get the orcs into a frenzy, while Ben takes the stage as lead vocals and guitar. It's not pretty or polished, but the orcs just want noise and violence. After a deafening show, thunderous primal rhythms, and about 32 broken bones, the orcs chant for an encore, and the next act takes the stage. The group heads back downstairs, exhausted and still very confused. "Okay, we need to jet. I'll get my payment, and make sure you get your cut. I just need to tie up some things with the orc chieftain," says Ben. "I always keep my word. Great to see you, buddy." "It's been way too long. You're still taking orders for the military?" Ben says to Mayor. I can't see how that life is for you, but you were always the quiet one. He offers the group a map to the surface where there are horses and a ride back south, about 5 days away from the town. The group is frustrated that they've missed the meetings and worried that the goings-on of the town. They race back to the officers' mess to arrive and open the door to see Lunafel and all the patrons in the exact same tables and places. They look across the room at Mayor's plate of finished food, and the knife hits the plate with a clank. They not only traveled hundreds of miles, but apparently also through time. Lunafel witnessed the three men disappear from the table and instantly open the door and walk through. With different clothes on? He asks Mayor, what kind of trick was that? Mayor casually replies, we had to perform a concert for thousands of orcs in an underground city. Looking utterly confused, Lunafel stands silent. Mayor and the group head upstairs, exhausted. The next adventure begins in the morning.